I've spent the last few years trying to figure out how to break this cycle. You know, the one my father lived through and the one I'm living through right now. And I keep coming back to the same problem. Every single path I've looked at, every door that might lead somewhere different, every opportunity that could actually change things for my family, all have the same requirement. Money I don't have. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in real time. I'm 33 years old, and I spend a lot of my days researching, planning, trying to map out some kind of route that doesn't end the way my father's life ended. He worked hard his entire life, believed things would turn around eventually, and passed away at 63. Still broke, still struggling, waiting for that turnaround, that breakthrough that will take him to the promised land. So after witnessing all this, I told myself I'm going to be smarter about it, right? That I'm going to learn skills. I'm going to find opportunities. I'm going to think my way out of this instead of just grinding myself into dust like he did. And I do the research. I look into trades, certifications, small business ideas, freelance work, anything that could generate actual income and give me some kind of foothold. But here's what I keep running into. You want to learn a trade? That's going to cost you for the training, the tools, and the certification exams. You want to start a small business? You need startup capital, equipment, inventory, marketing budget. You want to freelance? You need a decent computer, software subscriptions, and maybe a course or two to make yourself competitive. You want to go back to school? Tuition, books, and time you can't spend working. Every single option, and I mean every single one, starts with the same sentence. First, you'll need to invest. And that's where the conversation ends for me, because I don't have anything to invest. I'm not being dramatic here, I'm being literal. There's no savings account. There's no emergency fund. My wife brings in the money that keeps us alive, and I'm grateful for that. I really am. But that money goes to rent, food, diapers, bills, the basics, you know? There's nothing left over for investment, for taking chances, for betting on myself. And even if there was, would I really gamble with the money that feeds my kids? Of course not. So I'm stuck in this loop. I can see the paths, I can research them, I can plan them out step by step, but I can't actually walk any of them because the first step requires something I don't have. And the longer I go without income, the further away those first steps get. It's like watching doors close in slow motion while you're running toward them, and you know you're not going to make it, but you keep running anyway because what else are you going to do? My father had this same problem. He wasn't stupid. He wasn't lazy. He could see opportunities just like I can. But he was always starting from zero, always trying to build something with nothing. And by the time he could scrape together enough to maybe take a step forward, something would happen. His car would break down, someone would get sick, something unexpected would show up, and whatever he managed to save would disappear, and he'd be back at zero again. He'd stay up till 2 a.m, wake up at 6, be in debt, broke, alone, and still have faith that one day everything will work out. I watched that cycle my entire childhood. I watched him try and reset and try again, over and over, until eventually he just stopped trying in that way. He settled into survival mode, punching the clock, coming home exhausted, rinse and repeat. I think he gave up on the idea that he could break out and just focused on holding on. And now, here I am, 30 years later, staring at the exact wall he stared at. I thought I'd be different. I thought having more information, more access to resources, and more ways to learn things would make the difference. But having information doesn't mean much when you can't afford to act on it. All the YouTube tutorials in the world won't help if you can't buy the equipment. All the business plans in the world won't matter if you can't fund the first month. I'm half the age he was when he died, and I haven't broken anything. I'm following the same script. Here's the part that keeps me up at night. When I got married, I had hopes to build something different. Before I had kids, I thought I'd break this generational pattern by now and change the narrative in my family that life doesn't have to be a slow grind into the ground. But instead, they're watching me live out the same story my father lived. I don't want them to remember their dad as the guy who couldn't provide, who tried hard but never quite made it work. Exactly one of the things I remember of my father. That feeling, right there, is heavier than being broke. Being broke is just a condition. You can live with it. But feeling like you're failing the people you love, your kids, like you're passing down the same curse you inherited, that's the thing that makes you wonder if you should even be here. I don't have an answer for how to fix this. I don't have some clever solution I'm building toward. The truth is, I don't know if this gets better. I don't know if there's a way out when you're starting from this far behind. What I do know is that I'm tired. I'm tired of researching paths I can't walk. I'm tired of making plans that require resources I don't have. I'm tired of feeling like I'm one good opportunity away from changing everything, while knowing that opportunity will probably never come because I can't afford to be in the room where it happens. But I'm still here. I wake up, I take care of my kids, I keep the house running. Yes, it's not the life I imagined I'd be living by now, and it's not breaking any cycles, but it's what I can do right now. And some days, that has to be enough, even when it doesn't feel like it is. If you're listening to this and you're in the same spot, stuck looking at paths you can't afford to walk, I want you to know something. You're not alone in this. There are a lot of us out here, more than people want to admit, trying to figure out how to build something when we're starting with nothing. It doesn't make us failures. It doesn't make us weak. It just makes us men who drew a harder hand and are doing what we can with it. I don't have answers for you. I'm not going to pretend I figured this out or that I found some secret door everyone else missed. But I can tell you that you're not crazy for feeling stuck, for being frustrated, for wondering if any of this is ever going to change. Those feelings are real, and they're valid, and you don't have to hide them. We're all just trying to survive long enough to see if things shift. And if they don't, at least we're not suffering in silence. At least we're saying it out loud. At least we're here. I'm Dad alone, and so are you. I'll see you in the next one.